Yeah, it's also a Sunday night, obviously, too, right?
I know Sunday nights, and hey, it's not the first football game that we've gone live during though. But it's one of those things where you're like, hey,
We have competition.
exactly, exactly. I think we're. Hey guys, if you're tuning in on one of the lives, let us know where you're tuning in from. It's going to help me make sure that I've got everything pushed out. But I think it's pushed out. Looks like at least one of these Instagram channels is pushed out. Let's jump over here to this other one. Awesome. This could be helpful. We got. Oh, what's Blake? Is Blake jumping in now? Hold on, let me have it pulled up. I'm seeing random numbers. Oh, device is not connected. What does this say? They need to connect their mic cam before connect. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to make it work. We're gonna give some time for some folks to come into the chat, mainly because I think Blake is attempting to come in. He's just doing a poor job at it. It could be that we already got started, but I don't think that's the case. We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
Got a couple of channels. Let's see. He sent a couple of messages to the public about how to get logged in here. So we're doing great. Just a classic Sunday night.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you're tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. You guys see, you got a good night to come on, because I don't know if you're a Colts fan or not, but you're not playing until tomorrow, right?
I am a Colts fan. I mean, I don't have high hopes for the rest of our season given our quarterback situation, but
yeah.
Hey, what's up,
It's
Blake?
been an interesting year. Well.
Well, I get to the office and apparently my laptop did a reboot, which meant nothing was signed in. Nothing wanted to let my camera put me on. I'm like, oh, it'd be perfect to do a live stream with no camera and no audio access. So no better way to do one.
Did you want to try and get? You want me to try and get you live on your Instagram, or do you want to just put it out into the YouTube chat again, so that other people can go live for you?
I put the stream key in the chat, if that works.
You put it, you put it in the YouTube one, right? I'm trying to see if I can capture it. So if anyone else wants to force live from Blake, it is provided. But if not, then I will do this. Hold on, I got you. I got you still.
I put it in the private chat. I was scrambling because it wouldn't let my camera allow. I'm like, well, at least I'll put my
see if this works.
Stream key there.
Man, we get his microphone fixed, but then it's just he just brings other problems into it.
I thought we decided that we were just going to talk about the Jaguars game tonight, so that's all I came prepared. No. There we go. I won't say that around Colts fans, but
you have one good season followed by two bad seasons, followed by another good season. All of a sudden, you guys have never been bad, right?
It's one good season followed by 10 bad seasons, but in those one seasons, we will celebrate.
You don't have the Indiana sports curse, though.
No, well, I don't know. Well, you do have a quarterback curse right now.
Yeah. Well, and also the Pacers, right? Halliburton getting ready to dominate that game, goes down with the Achilles, right?
Achilles tears his Achilles. Yeah.
So, damn, we had no chance after that.
I didn't want to jump into my Hoosier sports career so soon in the interview, but I might as well. As somebody who attended the Indiana University basketball camp back in the early 2000s, the curse is real at times.
We probably went to the camp together.
Really? Hold on. What? So I would have gone. What year did Mike Davis take them to the Final Four? Would have been
that would have been 2002 or 2003, I think. Right?
Yeah. So I was just after, I think I went 02 and 03.
Okay. So I probably went like 99 and 2000, maybe 2001.
We
so close.
Man, now I'm thinking, was it 01, 02? And but yeah, it was
you guys
Mike
are boring all the Bills fans in the chats.
Had to go sleep in the Indiana dorm rooms and oh shoot, what was the shooting guard who got hurt in that Final Four run?
Man,
I can,
we're really digging back. I wasn't ready for early odds.
Yeah. That's we won't get too far into that, but welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is night 21. This is where we are with night 21 of the Advent Calendar tasting. It's let's go back into deep sports trivia and but Julian, thanks for joining us. This is a lot of fun. Appreciate you participating in this.
Yeah.
Now, for those who are not aware, on day 21, we are tasting West Fork, right?
Yeah.
And
so here's the specifically.
Old, you pronounce it Old Hamer, correct?
Hamer, correct. Yeah, it's pronounced like it has a Y in it, but obviously it doesn't. So
I was doing my due diligence to say what we're tasting at the beginning, Blake, right? Before we get 35 minutes into the call. So I have now done my part. For anyone who is new to these, we've been doing these tasting through the Seelbach Advent Calendar. If you're just tuning along, you didn't get a calendar, totally fine. That QR link right there will take you to all the products that we've been talking about and all the ones that were in that calendar. So if you want to just understand a little bit more about what we're talking about, you'll be able to check out stuff there. If you did get the Advent Calendar, you go through these books. It tells you more about that. There's QR codes in there as well. So you do not need to do that. Julian is coming on a bit hosed because it was Blake. It was his brother who was supposed to be on the live. And then I don't know if you all were planning to tag team, but then he said, "Hey man, you gotta go in my place."
we can only have one Blake on the live. I think we set that rule early on. It's a one Blake maximum. And he's like, Julian, you're up. Sorry.
Otherwise,
it was almost
it gets
not you too.
And that's funny. That impression actually sounded like the phone conversation I had with him about 30 minutes ago.
I knew it.
He was like, can you do it tonight, man?
I've got a cough.
Well, who I wish was joining us was Tom Coverdale, which was a great Indiana guard from the 2002 and 2003 game, which I had to go and Google before that was going to drive me crazy.
I Tom Coverdale not infrequently at Nick's bar on Kirkwood in Bloomington. He still shows up there.
Really? Okay. Yep. Well, I'd like to be there next time because he was my my team coach at that summer camp. I'm sure he remembers the 5'8" unathletic white guy going to Indiana University basketball camp.
There's been so few of them. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He probably definitely remembers my 3 points and 2 assists and 7 charges a game. I think he will.
Hey, but that is IU basketball.
That is IU basketball. But well, cool. No, man, thanks for joining us. Obviously, super fun to have you on and love to dig in more because I feel like we've talked with a lot of people on the Advent Calendar. We talk about their products, we try to get the story out, but there is just something different about hearing it from the founders themselves, from the people who are making it, kind of how they got started, why they're doing what they're doing. And y'all are, I mean, I feel like an incredible example because you have so many cool things going on. And, it's just like, we get all the time like, oh, I want an older whiskey and I want to be really good. I want to be this price. And we're limited in what we have available. But even like with the Old Hamer 10-year, it's like priced really well. It's fantastic. So yeah, kind of what got you started into the whole whiskey side of things?
So I got into it pretty much completely ass backwards. I was actually in medical school at the time. My brother, Blake, who was supposed to be on with us as well, and then our other co-founder, David, my brother being a business guy, David being a lawyer, hated their day jobs. I, at that point, knew I wanted to do anything else. I was, in fact, starting my 4th year of medical school, so I was almost done, out in Albany, New York. And they were like, hey, you want to start a whiskey company?
Well, this medical thing is not as exciting as I thought. So
no, so we were, very young and naive, and we were like, yes, we're going to put everything we have at it, right? So we all came back. I was actually, like I said, in Albany, New York. David was in Florida at the time, and Blake was here in Indiana working in banking. So I came back, worked some odd jobs for a little while during that no paycheck period of entrepreneur. And we started making whiskey in 2015 on the nights and weekends, and then a couple of years later, I was the first employee of West Fork Whiskey. When I've been making bourbon full time for about 10 years now, ish.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so early on, it was pretty much all MGP, or I don't know if you can
We
say the name,
actually did it the exact opposite way.
Oh, yeah, like, hey, we
And
should make it.
we were absolute idiots for that. None of us are independently wealthy. So we scrounged together way less money than everybody told us the minimum you needed to start a distillery was. They told us we were crazy. So we said in the beginning we are going to make every drop of juice that we ever sell, and that was silly. We realized very quickly that we needed to both get some age, some sophistication, and some name brand recognition through a partnership with MGP. But we wanted it to be meaningful, right? Luckily, we're here in Indiana where MGP is as well. And so, we called them up and we're like, hey, we're looking through kind of Indiana distilling history. We found this really cool thing. All of the three of the co-founders are actually from Bedford, Indiana, which is just north of what is now Spring Mill State Park. It used to be the old Hamer Farm. Back from 1825 to 1875, the old Hamer Farm was one of the largest bourbon distilleries in the country. They made primarily a high corn bourbon. Unfortunately, the recipe didn't survive, but shipped as far up, pretty much the Ohio River system and Mississippi River system, right as far up as New York, as far down as Louisiana. And they made a high corn bourbon. The patriarch of the farm's name was Hugh Hamer. He was just like a man about Southern Indiana. He was the postmaster at one point. I think he was a state representative. But he did a lot of things for a lot of the other farmers in the community, and would take payment for a lot of his trades back then in excess corn and make it into a very delicious high corn bourbon. And so that was from about 1825 till 1875. Fast forward to today, a dead trademark. It's 15 minutes south of where we all grew up. In fact, the stone mill is still running there to this day that made this bourbon back in the 1800s. So MGP was like, hey, it's really young. We haven't been making it very long. This is like 2017, 2018. But we've got this 99% corn, 1% malted barley recipe that is very interesting at this point. Right. So we tried it, got some samples in, and we were like, this is just incredibly serendipitous. It's a really, really cool bourbon, a different bourbon as well. Right. Similar enough to your 3 and 4 grains that it's not going to like totally shock you, but it is very impressive. Traditionally corn is not considered a flavor grain, right? It's more of the base grain. But this has really turned into a beautiful bourbon, especially as these barrels, now our oldest barrels are, I believe, about 12 years old. And it's really done some cool things over the evolution of aging it, in our different releases that we have.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And that, personally, I've always loved the 99.1 corn bourbons. We get the like random comments like, oh, well, that's supposed to be blended. Or people say the same thing with 95.5 rye. I'm like, but is it good? Is at the end of the day, like, is it really good? And kind of like you said, most people think of you need that rye grain to kind of add character, add spice. And it's like, no, the corn actually sits on its own. And maybe that's all barrel influence or whatever it may be. But I think some of the better barrels I've had over the years have been that 99.1 corn. Just because it has like this creaminess to it. It's softer and
got a really cool mouthfeel.
And I feel like it drinks really well. And I may set an advent calendar live tasting record tonight because I always say we need to jump straight into the tasting. And then we start talking. And then it's like, we're 15 minutes, we're 20 minutes. I'm like, we haven't even introduced the whiskey yet. So 15 minutes in, I feel like that's close enough to being towards the beginning. But so tell us a little bit more about this product. So I assume it's the 99 one, but this is the Old Hamer 10-year. I believe it's bottled, or no, this is 110 proof. So
110 proof. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if that's at cast strength or y'all proofing that down.
It's kind of in between cast strength and our 10-year. So our 10-year product, the one obviously that you guys carry, we do that one at 100 proof. And that's obviously to kind of try and make the people who live in the higher proofs happy, but not scare away people who are usually drinking more down in the 80s, right? And also this recipe is just kind of a smooth, sweeter bourbon in the first place. So adding a little water really helps open it up and accentuate those high corn characteristics of this. So yeah, so this is essentially a cast strength light, if you will, of the Old Hamer recipe. Again, 99% corn, 1% malted barley. All of these are done in 4 char Speyside barrels. So it's a higher char barrel as well, which is really lending well to longer aging, which I thought would be the opposite, but here we are. And I think this particular one, I believe, was just short of 10 years. But really, it's funny, between 8 and 10 years, this recipe is really awesome. And some 8-year barrels are better than the 10s, and some 10s are better than the 8 years, and vice versa. I've had a lot of groups come in and taste it blind and actually prefer it at 8. Others prefer it at 10. I can't wait until it's 13 or 15 years old, because I really think that's when it's going to peak. But yeah, so this is the backbone kind of the Old Hamer line for us, which all of the Old Hamer products are that 99% corn, 1% malted barley recipe. And this is just a really beautiful example of how sweet and awesome and complex something with so much corn in it can be, when, kind of going against the grain, if you will, of you need to have rye, right? You need to have wheat, you need to have malted barley. This really, I mean, besides that 1% malted barley, this is all delicious, beautiful Indiana corn.
Yeah, and that's where, I know there are purists out there. They only want Kentucky bourbon. It has to be made in Bourbon County, Kentucky. And I'm like, well, that's there's not even a distillery there until a long time ago. But Indiana has like such a rich tradition in distilling and whiskey and everything else. I love brands who they just lean into that. It's like, yeah, this is who we are. This is where we are. Even more importantly, and it's still incredible bourbon. And that's what I feel like y'all are doing, and it's really cool to see.
Unfortunately, I think I didn't really know. I got into bourbon drinking all the Kentucky bourbons that I'm sure we all love, right? And many others outside of Kentucky. But until I got into this business, I didn't really know that Indiana had any meaningful distillation history. But obviously, we've kind of dug deep into finding as much about the history as you can. In fact, one of my good buddies, we call him our unpaid intern, but his day job is as a cybersecurity expert for Raytheon. We collected every bit of everything that we ever found that Hugh Hamer had written. And so we dumped it all in a Google Drive, and we set up a chat bot. So in our whiskey club, if you join our whiskey club, you can actually chat with Hugh Hamer based on all of his stuff. So we've done some really cool stuff with the history.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. He's a techie guy, right? We sit around and drink, and then he vibe codes for us, right?
That's I think that's the first I've ever heard of that, but that's an incredible idea of like, hey, go create your own GPT or whatever it is with all these old documents. And
there really isn't much. It was fun. The most interesting part of that is trying to sandbox, right? To make sure that your chatbot isn't talking about things you don't want it to talk about.
Because then Brian comes on and asks a bunch of inappropriate questions.
Yeah, so this
is my
MO.
It's my specialty.
This is number 2 yellow dent on this one, right? All from Indiana. And then obviously manufactured here down at MGP in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and then aged primarily on site there, but they have a number of satellite barrel warehouses as well. that are kind of dotted throughout Indiana that hold this product.
Interesting. And with that, you're not, are you aging in-house as well, or you're kind of just bringing them down, hey, whenever it's time to start bottling, or just
as of right now, we keep basically about 80 to 120 barrels at our on-site warehouse. All of our Westfork product is there, which is what we actually, grain to glass, distill ourselves and age ourselves. However, we are mere days away from bringing it all under one barrel warehouse that me and my team have been working very hard on over in Crawfordsville, Indiana, which is a small little town just west of Indianapolis here. But we have a 10,000 barrel warehouse that's going up over there that will house our entire inventory of both Westfork and Old Hamer. Because we control and have ownership of about, I want to say, almost 9,000 of the 99 corn, 99.1 corn recipe for bourbon. And they were actually going to kill the recipe until we got on a production contract with them. So we've been on a production contract for a number of years. So we have
do
plenty.
Not kill it. This is
bourbon.
This is fantastic bourbon. Do not let that get killed. Yeah. And
they may have been using that as a negotiation tactic with us. MGP has done some funny things over there. We love them. They've been
only 100 barrels left, guys.
Exactly.
Gotta grab them.
You never know how much
that one
of what they have and what they say is actually true, because all of a sudden they've been known to find all these barrels, right?
Yeah. You're never going to guess it. But when we said we sold you the last 50 of them, there's 500 left. It's yeah.
So anyway,
I feel like that's
we're on
super fun.
now, so we have we have plenty of juice to grow into the future, and we're very excited about this mash bill.
So now how does that and it may not be an exact ratio, but are you looking at it and saying like, okay, we need to lay down X amount of barrels a year in-house compared to what we're going to have under the Old Hamer line, or how does that break down between the?
So like Westfork products specifically, right? That grain to glass that we do is a much smaller, much craftier. I have a 600-gallon still, right? So we make on the hundreds of barrels of that a year at max. We're in a bit of a production pause, just like a lot of other distilleries right now, given some of the wackiness in the market. But obviously we have a ton more Old Hamer, and that really is our product that we are looking to expand into other states. We had a tentative agreement to do that in 9 different states unfortunately fell apart at the last second, but we're looking again for opportunities for this to be much more widely available, and we have lots of aged up juice to support that.
I feel like that could be its own play in general of like Indiana bourbon, not from the one you think it is. Our friends over at Pursuit, they did a little bit of that with their Tennessee component of it's Tennessee bourbon, but not from the one in Dahlonega, or where is it, Brian? It's
Tullahoma.
Yeah, Dahlonega, I think.
Yeah, it's funny. I know. I saw a couple. You guys are doing a couple, or at least one with Hard Truth, right?
Yep. Another great one.
Great people down there. I just learned, and I didn't know that their sweet mash, their sweet mash rye, they actually changed it to like a 94.6 recipe. Specifically because
they didn't want the confusion.
For making 95.5, everybody was like, "You didn't really make this."
Yeah, it's like, no, I can show you the still. I can show you.
So they really changed it a percentage point in both ways to a recipe that MGP doesn't make, so that they wouldn't get that you didn't make it, which is just such a funny part of the market.
Which it really is, and I think even Starlight has said that, maybe not on the mash bill, but they're like, we wanted to make our rye whiskey so it did not taste like MGP, because we would get that feedback of people would just assume it's like, no, we wanted it to be super fruity and a little more sweet forward. We didn't want those herbally minty notes. Because somebody sees Indiana rye, they're going to think, oh, it's MGP. It's like, no, there's a lot more that went into it than just that. But And I mean, honestly, we talk about Indiana's rich whiskey heritage. There's still a ton of between y'all and Hard Truth.
Starlight just
The
cleaned up at San Francisco,
they did great. Their Mizunara was a big winner there.
which
I think they banned
I-
other companies from entering.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is all about
No.
the rest of the companies. No, they're great people, and they've been so helpful to us because I mean, the Hublers and Starlight, they've been around distillation since way before it was cool, right? In
Mhm.
Indiana,
I
but
think
they're
you have
all.
to actually be born distilling in that
I,
family at
yeah,
this point.
I think I just was at an award show with Christian. I think he's 7th gen, if I'm not mistaken, which is awesome, right? And it truly is a family affair down there.
Yeah.
But great
Yeah, I
people.
think
I have nothing
I think
to
he
think
said he like did a run on the still and like went to his high school prom or something.
Yes.
It's like that's not the stories that yeah, I said hypothetically that's what he did.
Yeah, right.
Right.
He certainly didn't try it for the cuts. He wouldn't do so.
No, yeah, it's all off of nose.
Well, just monitoring. Yeah.
But so on the West Fork side, and I know y'all, we did a big collaboration whenever Purdue was in the Final Four and everything, and so that was all your own distillate.
Yep.
Is
In
it?
fact, that was the biggest batch I've ever done at 7 barrels. So
Oh, nice.
when we say we're small batch, we very much mean it. But yeah,
That's where it's like eventually we'll get some TTB regulation to like actually call out small batch for what it is, because we'll have people ask, they're like, what is a small batch? I'm like, oh, it's a very defined term, anything from 1 barrel to infinity barrels, and that is a small batch.
yeah, unfortunately, no legal definition, right? And even like people like Tito's like abuse the heck out of that, right? Like Tito's is
No,
small.
they're all craft
Crafted
distilled in Austin,
vodka.
Texas, and
yeah, it's unfortunate. And I honestly, I was surprised to learn. I went down and did the what is it, Stave and Thief Society training, executive training to have our company become a member of that. I did not know until I did that training. There's no legal definition of single barrel.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could put a whole mess of barrels in single barrel and slap single barrel on there and be like, yeah, whatever.
well, that's what's the one I always Rare Bird, which is cast strength or whatever, but somehow it's always the same proof. I'm like, they are very good at timing the proof of those barrels.
That's not how any of this works, right?
Like, yeah, cast strength is also, it's not a regulated thing. You can just it can come out at whatever it is. And
exactly.
Which it is funny. I feel like sometimes we're just fighting the battles of like, what is true craft distillation, what is true craft blending, and it's like all these other very important words are not regulated at all, and they're just flying around on every other label, but it doesn't mean anything. Like, how is that possible? But yeah, I won't dive down that rabbit hole tonight.
Right. We could do a several-hour podcast on that.
We had a good question about gutting 12-year-old barrels. That was going to be one of my follow-ups, because I think you've got your own private club that you do some really fun, cool things with. And love to hear about what y'all have going on there.
Yeah, so we do. The oldest barrels we have are, I believe, right around 12 years. We have not actually brought those in-house. I will be bringing those to the new barrel warehouse probably in the first 2 weeks of the new year. So everything, once it comes under the same roof, I can finally start really tasting through a lot of barrels. But
what day did you say that tasting of the 12-year barrels is going to
be? Every day. By the second week in January, I've got about 3 weeks to roll in 9,000 barrels. So it's going to be a fun ride. But yeah, as these barrels get older, they develop more flavor integration, more depth to the spice. And I honestly get kind of this almost like spicy, sweet tobacco kind of mouthfeel. There's a lot of caramel there, but the caramel vanilla from it is more of like a tobacco-y thing than it is like a candied type thing that you get from some other bourbons. But there's definitely more spice in there, and it makes me like some of the barrels, I would swear they snuck a little bit of rye in there, right?
Yeah.
From the character I get from it.
Yeah.
But I really think this is a mash bill that's really going to pop between that 12 and 15 year, as far as, when it kind of peaks quality wise, at least for most of the barrels. So we are actively we're in the planning stages, but I believe the next big release from us will likely be a 12-year cask. Because it's so good. Just those few extra years from 8 to 10 and 10 to 12, like it just, there's some magic going on there, and that late stage oxidation in the barrel, and also obviously being a 4-char, really pushes it to some cool places.
Oh, that's cool. Which you heard it here first. So that'll release exclusively on Seelbach somewhere around December.
Yeah, hopefully next year we're doing the cast strength 12, right?
Oh yeah, that too. It is really interesting with the older age where it becomes such a gamble at times, because you just don't know, like, will it turn where it's overly tannic? Will it turn where you're not getting the flavors that you want? And then you're starting looking at the yields you get from those barrels, and it's like you've got a very fine line to walk whenever you're trying to figure those things out from a production side.
There's definitely some calculus there. And luckily, I think because this mash bill, like, there's so much corn in it, it's so mouth coating, it's so saccharine in a lot of ways. It's lending itself nicely to older aging, in that the barrel is giving it more spice and less tannin. So even though it's getting spicy, it's not really getting overly oaked at all. And I've tried, so the oldest barrels I've tried are about 11 and a half years old. And I've tried probably on the order of, 50 to 75 of those barrels personally. And I have not had one of those barrels come up where it's like, okay, we're starting to get too old. Not in any way, shape, or form.
That's always a promising side of things.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have to worry. We're still in a great spot, and we can keep doing what we're doing. And this is just super tasty. Like for me, and I've probably said this 4 times on these so far in the past 3 weeks, of like, always say, if you give people a blind tasting and you ask them what they like, it's like, oh, I like spice and I like heavy tannins and this and that. Then you blind taste them. It's like they pick the sweetest one first.
Absolutely.
And this is that perfect balance where it's like there's a lot of good upfront kind of toasted sugars and caramels. Like you said, it's very mouth coating.
Mellowy,
yeah.
Duca bubble gum maybe in there.
Oh, for sure. But there is a bit of that spice, and I guess that's just oak spice that's coming out, but because it's not like it's a crazy high proof, it still drinks really well, but it just balances very nicely.
Yeah, and the spice really, it's kind of like a 2-parter, right? But they're well integrated in that up front, it's just mouth coating, it's sweet, it's sugary, right? Like candy corn, a lot of sweetness, and then very slowly it transitions to that finish of like kind of a soft, peppery, light minerality, not overly drying, right? Not overly tannic, but still a little bit of nice pepper and like just kind of awesome wood flavor in there.
Yeah.
This question that came through is talking about seeing value in red wine or sherry secondary finishing. So you got the West Fork line, that's your own distillery. You got the Old Hamer line, but then correct me if I'm wrong, but you all have bottles called Hugh Hamer, and Hugh Hamer,
correct?
Are they all finished of some variety?
That is
principle?
The distinction between Old Hamer and Hugh Hamer. So Old Hamer, primary barrel for whatever age, right? So cast strength, those are generally somewhere around 5 years at least, because that's when this recipe really starts to be good. And then we have the 10-year Old Hamer, right? But I have done a red wine and a sherry finish on this, and what we like to say about this mash bill is it is the most malleable mash bill that we have ever tasted. So really, a lot of what is taking off for us is our Hugh Hamer line. And our Hugh Hamer line is specifically for finishes. Of course, I have a couple of them here, which you also sell on your website, right? But our 2 biggest ones, and this was up for Finished Whiskey of the Year in 2014 at the San Francisco Spirits Awards. This is our double oak. So again, the 99-1 corn, when I'm selecting for our cast strength products, when I come across a really awesome barrel, whether it's sweet, whether it's sassy, anywhere in between, we pick those for secondary finishes. So the double oak is one of the biggest ones we do, and then we also do a rum finish. We do both of those at 103 proof. So again, we're not at cask strength, we're not at 80, right? We're somewhere in between. It really does nicely for those products. The double oaks are done exclusively in another new Speyside 4-char. The rum finishes are done in exclusively Cruzan rum barrels because they have been by far and away the best. But at the distillery, those are, our more widely distributed releases. I have done red wine. I have done sherry. I have done port. I have done maple syrup. I have done honey. I have done peach brandy. I have done apple brandy. I have done cherry brandy. I have done plum jerkum wine. I have done hot honey. I think that about covers it. There may be a few.
That's only a couple. That's only.
Yeah. So we have experimented with pretty much just about. I want to try some crazy.
Have you got any mead casts from New Day?
No.
You done anything?
No, but I need to. For sure. Because I would love to do a mead finish. With the West Fork stuff, we've done some even crazier finishes. I've done a Korean barbecue finish, a sriracha finish. So we are not scared of finishes. But back to the old Hammer recipe.
Now I kind of need to know what this Korean barbecue
finisher. And the next one that I would really like to do is either some sort of sherry or port finish, as far as adding to the kind of that core line of the Hugh Hamer finishes, because they are so good.
So what goes into a Korean barbecue finish? Not to sidetrack the conversation, but now
well,
sriracha, I can kind of figure that out, but
sure. We've been called very unserious whiskey makers for doing. But so I have a high rye bourbon, which is another very atypical bourbon recipe. It is 73% corn, 27% rye, so not super high rye, but we have a local sauce guy who makes this awesome Korean barbecue sauce. I'm a big, I run the smoker a lot. I love barbecuing. And I was like, this sauce is really good. And we had enough drinks one time to be like, man, what if we brought the sauce over, tasted it next to some bourbon, found one that was good in it. You take the barrel, you finish it for, 4-6 months, your sauce for 4-6 months. I take the barrel, put the whiskey on stainless, right? The bourbon on stainless. I take the barrel back, and then we finished it almost a full entire year. And it is wild. Tasting notes of garlic, soy, umami, and it's bourbon. And you can still taste the bourbon. Very cool. We did one barrel of it. It sold out in less than an hour at our with local distribution at our distillery.
This is bizarre. I never would have expected a guy with a beard and a buffalo check shirt to experiment with anything barbecue related.
I'm like, if you give me bourbon with gochujang flavor notes and spice in it, and I am
very traditional Korean. I need to get you. I still have a bunch of 200 milliliters that I give out at the distillery of the sauce that was barrel finished.
Yeah,
it is the best Korean barbecue sauce I've ever had, and he does it completely like they would do it in Korea. He's very much about following every bit of using all high quality ingredients and all the same stuff and not cutting corners.
That's kind of like, what if you did like a kimchi in a bourbon barrel and then you brought that back and then
we have talked about it.
Oh,
we're thinking about it. We did
the first 2 weeks of January. It's going to pop off, man. You gotta make a trip here so we can make a trip there.
So we are doing a bigger batch of it. Both West Fork, Blake, and David, it was kind of one of those things that I was like, well, I'm just going to do it and say I'm sorry if they're mad.
Yeah.
And so we did it, and they were both like, dude, you just wasted a barrel. What are you doing, you idiot? But it seems like when anyone, and it's a love-hate thing, right? It's very interesting. It's not going to be your nightly sipper. It's a conversation starter. It's something you've never had before. But it seems like every single one of the mega fans of this product always finds Blake, and they're like, man, that was so cool. You guys were so awesome for doing it. And he's like,
and Blake's like, I tried to shut it down early. Like,
it was a dumb idea and I hated it, but he came around. So
yeah, that's the, and those are always fun things that, I mean, personally, I love. I think we love those types of things at Seelbach just because nobody else is going to do it. You know, like who else is going to go through the effort that it takes to put a bourbon in stainless, send off the barrel to a Korean barbecue sauce maker, and then bring it back and let it sit for another year? Like that's why I love American craft spirits, is because you get some stuff like that, and that's a finish I've never even thought of. And we've come up with some crazy ideas on the
It's wild.
Seelbach side of things of what we could do. And now I'm like, all right, we can't get outdone at our own game. We need
You should try it.
although
It's very cool.
Datel
You're gonna have
pepper
people
hot
that
sauce
love it,
is a
and
big
you're
thing in
gonna have
Florida.
people that
So
hate you for making it. But there's gonna be relatively little in between.
yeah. It's you've got two camps: people who think you are the worst person that ever came into American whiskey, and people who think you're a genius. There's
And
no
you
in
don't even need to
between.
do a finish like that in order to have those same two
No,
groups. So,
no.
like, what does it
Yeah.
matter?
It just pushes them. The people in the middle, I feel like it pushes them more out to the sides.
Yeah. Yeah. The people in the middle are just like, I don't know where to stand on
Yeah.
this. Like, I don't even know how this would work. And my mind does not want to dive down that rabbit hole. But that I think is a fun spot, is like there is a group out there who is super interested. Like, how can I try that? Like, how can I get another bottle of it? And um,
Yeah, I just gave my last half bottle. I think I have one in our whiskey safe, which is my gun safe, which I made the mistake of having delivered to the distillery. It immediately got bottles in it, so it never actually.
then it became the whiskey safe of things. Yeah.
One bottle of it left in there, but it wasn't a huge yield. And it was one of those things that anytime anybody came through for a barrel pick or visiting, right, they're like, what's something super different or weird? It's like, well, I got
I've
just
got you. I've
the
got you.
barrel had probably about somewhere between 40 and 50 spiles that were nailed into it from us trying it over the 12 months that it was sitting there.
Looks like it just got shot with bird shot because it just.
Yeah, we were worried that we were going to get like 2 cases out of it because
Yeah.
I kind of pushed it around. I was like, we have sampled this out a lot, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Which now I'm like, oh, we need a calendar next year who is just where it's like,
Wow.
call it maybe 10 days of just wildest finishes.
Yep.
Send us your wildest finish and something like that. Because people have played around with different brandies. We've seen some like old fashioned kind of finishes where they put the bourbon into an ex bitter barrel, something like that. But I do really think like the food component part of things makes it even more interesting, because that could actually pair well with a meal.
Yeah.
Like you make an old fashioned out of that. I bet that's crazy over some Korean barbecue.
We have a lot of people making, with both the sriracha finish, which we did the same way, and the Korean barbecue. We have a lot of people making Bloody Marys with them, and they're awesome. They're
yeah.
awesome.
Interesting.
Oh,
Have you guys done any RTDs or only some of these interesting finishes?
We did get into the RTD game when it was hot, right? Like COVID-esque era, a little before, had a canning line. Realized that I didn't ever really want to run a canning line because they are funny pieces of equipment. But we did bourbon-based canned cocktails, and we learned very quickly that our ready-to-drinks, when you put aged bourbon in it and you can't price it the same as your High Noon or your whatever, there is a much smaller market because everybody expects it to be like $9.99 for a 4-pack, right? Or $12.99.
Yeah.
Putting, craft bourbon type cocktails into that, it's a little more of an uphill battle. So we scratched that project, and we haven't done any RTDs since probably it's been about 2 or 3 years that we've been out of the game. But what we really do now is, if you come to our distillery, we do ready-made mixes for you to leave with. So we don't stock those. The bartender will actually make it in front of you. So you get a fresh mix up of whether you want like a slammer type drink or an old fashioned, or we have a whole line that are handmade when you come in and order them. So that's really been more of our play, at least at this point. but yes, we did play in the RTD space for a while, and maybe that would be a cool place to get back to for some of those more interesting spirits, right? Like the Korean barbecue, sriracha, and the hot honey finishes that we do.
Yeah, that is that would be really cool. Well, man, I appreciate it. I realize we're at 45 minutes and I have like 27 other questions to ask about all these different finishes and everything going on, but I won't take up the rest of your night. I appreciate you joining us on a Sunday night. So thanks for everything you've how you've supported Seelbach and sent us cool projects and different different releases. So we appreciate everything and love what y'all are doing. And thanks for being part of the Advent calendar.
Yeah, no, thank you. We really appreciate you guys as a partner. You guys have been awesome. Really cool way to get, liquid to lips for people who really, obviously are outside of our bubble where we usually play. So this has been awesome. And this is by far the best part of my job, right? Making this hardest part is the wait. And drinking, it's the fun part, right?
I feel like there was a quote in there, like a t-shirt quote, like the hardest part is the wait, the best part is the whiskey.
Yeah.
Brian, I'd like to hear your craziest finish idea as we close out.
Yeah.
I was thinking we go sardines in a barrel to make a fish sauce.
Fish sauce. So I love Asian cuisine. It took me a long time to eat fish. I love fish now, but fish sauce. That's aggressive.
How do you like umami and the ocean?
Okay, yeah, right. And it's gonna be mostly the ocean.
Yeah. But all right, appreciate you. Thank you for everyone who joined us tonight, and we will see you back actually tomorrow. We're back tomorrow night, Brian. I think we're back.
Yeah, we got another one tomorrow night. We're with Manifest, and then still question mark on what's taking place on Christmas Eve.
Oh, I'm going live.
There we go.
Blake says he's going live. Obviously, no one will join him, but he might be going live himself.
I sent Brian a review on Friday night we had a release come out, and I was like, I'm gonna do a real life review, and it's like me in the kind of bar kitchen area, and my kids are running around the background. My wife's yelling at the kids. They're trying to make Christmas cookies. I'm like, this is a new series. It's called Real Life Reviews. I don't
know if you guys could hear it, but my wife and kids and 4 dogs are having what seems to be a party above me. A little bit.
Yeah, that's I feel like there's an audience for that. People would appreciate it. Now, YouTube or whoever else may strike it down because my daughter's like, can I smell it? I'm like, yeah, it's not going anywhere. You can smell it. You can't taste it.
They're very curious. They always want to. They want to see it. Dada drinking wikis.
Yeah. I think my daughter was like, yeah, it smells like caramel, vanilla. Smells like every other bourbon. I'm like, okay,
but a good bourbon or something.
But a good bourbon. She did.
I didn't get the chance to watch until yesterday afternoon, and when I was watching it in the car, and Kristen was like, "She is so cute."
Yeah.
So,
the joys of daughters. They are cute, and
so are you multiple girls?
No, only one. So we have 3 boys, 1 girl.
Okay.
So,
yeah. So I'm 2 boys right now. We're trying for a girl, but I know it's going to be another boy. So
right. Well, on ours we went girl, boy, do we have a third, and we ended up with twin boys. So just be aware that those types of things can happen.
Well, I know one of my good friends who started High and Mighty Cocktails here in Indy that we helped out. They had 4, and they were like, yeah, let's do 1 more, twins.
Oof. Yep. It's all too well. It'll be a conversation for after the show. But my brother had 3 and then had twins, and I was like, I'm done. I'm out. Like no.
Don't roll that dice again, right?
To go from 4 to 6.
That's a huge jump.
I don't know how you do that. That's 4 is a lot, and which Brian has 3, so he knows that those joys as well. But
that's right.
It's like they're all different, and
Yep.
we have identical twins. They share DNA. We went to Disney, and his fingerprint worked for the other one's actual pass.
That is
Wow.
wild.
But they have very different personalities. And I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
I still have to treat you like two different people.
That's
And
It's fascinating.
If there's any time that really shows their best character, it's definitely the Christmas holiday.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah,
let's
that
drink
doesn't
to that.
doesn't bring out any of that young kid awful at all, right?
That's
No,
right.
not at all. My kids, I was leaving, they're like, why do you gotta go do this review? We never get to see you. I'm like, we've been together nonstop.
Exactly.
Like, I don't think you haven't seen me for the past 72 hours straight. And maybe I've been gone for 4 hours out of the past week. So
That's funny.
it's fun ages. But all right, Julian, thanks again for joining us. And
no problem.
everyone, we'll be back tomorrow, as we said. And thank you for joining us for the Advent calendar. Cheers.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, everybody.